right, are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are ready for this because this is going to blow your mind.
That dude in the hairpiece the whole time, that was Bruce Willis.
Nice little tie there, man.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm done.
Drop the mic. Leave it on a high. Well, welcome to season 4, episode 2?
Season 5.
Season 5.
I meant to correct you on that. The
Really?
last episode,
Yeah.
you said season 4, and I was like, that wasn't right.
Yeah. I can't believe we're at 5 seasons already. Because we do them like every 6 months. We do them like in the spring, and then we usually kind of take the summer off, and then we pick up in the fall usually.
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing.
Take a winter break.
Yeah.
For like holidays.
Yeah.
Summer break.
So we
honestly, we take as many fucking breaks as we can. That's most of my life is a break. Like, I need a break. I need a break from my break.
Yeah.
Speaking of spring, we want to talk about spring today?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, dude.
Talk about spring today.
I'd also like to talk about see if you guys have watched anything of note or worthy of discussion lately, because I've got a couple of ideas I'd like to discuss.
I did watch that movie you were talking about last time, Leave the World Behind.
Okay, yeah. With Julia Roberts.
Ethan Hawke, Mahershala Ali.
Okay.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I did not watch Nosferatu. I don't think I've seen anything very recent.
Yeah, I haven't been watching. Haven't had time to watch movies.
No.
Yeah. Hey, maybe Casey, we can get into your day that you had the other day.
What a day.
It's like an epic bad day.
Yeah, it was an epic bad day.
This is Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good.
It was
very bad
yesterday.
day.
It was like David and Goliath, but unfortunately I was a Goliath. My ass was just getting knocked out.
What about you, Rob? What do you got? What do you got for me?
Okay, so there's a series on Netflix called Adolescence.
I watched the trailer for that.
Dude.
It's about adolescence.
Well, that's good.
No, it's a British show.
It's a British miniseries.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix?
Yeah. And it's about this 13-year-old boy who's accused of murdering one of his classmates.
Yeah.
Tits.
And it
How long's the season?
6, 7, 8 episodes, something like that.
Okay.
It's not
So
real
they're
long.
like 40 minutes long.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
You watch the whole thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No spoilers, but it does look good.
I like fucked up twists.
It's not real. There's not really a twist.
Oh.
It's just it's a keep you guessing kind of.
Is that the one with the two boys? Or maybe I'm thinking about something else where they murder their parents.
No,
That's a whole different.
No,
thing
that's the Menendez
That's on Netflix.
brothers.
Yeah,
that was a true story. I don't think this is based on a true story, is it?
no.
no.
I mean,
okay.
I mean, there might have been a story, there might have been something that happened in real life that was similar to this. Well,
Yeah.
I'm fucking sure there was.
Probably.
Yeah, but no, this isn't claimed to be based off of a true. No, I haven't watched that Menendez brothers thing either.
I haven't either. I just saw. Of course, when you get on Netflix, it says, "Oh, something you might watch," and it starts playing a clip before. I'm like, "No, I want to watch something else."
Yeah, that one's got Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, and
First
another
time I
thing.
remember seeing him was in No Country for Old Men.
Yep, me too.
Sugar.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sugar.
Dude, he was great.
Antoine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anton.
That's what it was.
I don't think Antoine Fisher.
It could have been, it spelled
Antoine.
the French way.
It was Anton Chigurh. There's been a lot of memes come off of that character.
Yeah.
My favorite one is the when you're talking to your toddler trying to get him to bed, and it's him talking to the old man. And he goes, "You're a bit deaf, aren't you?" I said, "What time do you go to bed?"
So have you guys? So I cruise Netflix or Hulu a little bit, and
Yeah, I love Hulu.
there's a new thing on Hulu. It's a Hulu original, and it's about Natalia Grace. Have you guys seen previews for that?
I know, but Amy has kept up on that story because there's a whole series already.
Yeah, that's an actual documentary.
Now,
kind of.
isn't she the one that happened after the movie The Orphan?
Yeah, it might have.
So
this okay. I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
Here's the thing. There was an original kid that this happened to, that they found out wasn't a kid or whatever, and that's what the movie The Orphan is based off of.
I know what you're talking about.
But then this one, I believe, happened after that movie, and it's a whole different story.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Yeah,
and it follows this orphan Natalia who was originally adopted, and then she was given up for readoption to this other couple, and this other couple says that she's like not as young as she's claiming to be. Like, she's an actual adult,
so
because she's got like dwarfism and stuff.
Yeah. So they claim that, but she claims to be her age. She said,
correct
right?
age. Yeah.
So there's no clarity on that.
Yeah.
Like the original.
This is the one that's got the guy from the League, right? I can't think of his name.
No,
he
this
plays
is
the dad or the
well.
adopted dad.
The reason why I bring up the Hulu series is because it looks god awful, and I don't know if it's because
really?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It looks
so is this one the Hulu thing? Is this a?
It's a dramatization.
Oh, so this isn't a docuseries. This is like okay. So you might be right. Wait, which guy from the League? Not Steve Renazizi. He's the one that you remember what happened to him?
No.
The main guy from the League. That's the guy that lied about, like 9/11.
He was a stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
but
but
he got in a bunch of trouble.
He lied about like
people, his parent or
working,
a parent being
like
there or something.
yeah, like he said he worked for like a company or something that was like
Mark Duplass.
No, I don't. Which one's that?
This guy.
It looks horrible. That's the only reason why I brought it up, is because that I was like, we're cruising through like trying to find something to watch.
Not Taco.
Did you fart?
No.
Oh, okay. I mean, sorry, I thought I smelled something.
I kind of smell something too.
Okay, so it's not. It wasn't me. I promise.
No.
I'd claim it if it was me.
Well, I know, but I didn't know if you were.
Oh. So anyway, I guess you want to talk about spring, and so what you been doing lately? Like,
shit, dude. Honestly, spending a lot of time with the family. The girls have been on spring break they got 2 weeks.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So the one, it's called Good American Family.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
And it's got him, some lady I've never seen.
It looks so bad.
Okay, you know what? While we're on this, and we will get into the topic of the day, but while we're on this, it's funny that you mentioned that and that you talk about how it looks bad. I was thinking that because you know what I did watch recently, and it's not super new, but that Dumb Money movie.
Okay.
About the GameStop stocks, and it had
I think I watched that too.
Yeah. Here's the thing. There was a documentary that I watched about that on, I think it was on Max, might have been Hulu, I don't know, whatever.
Cinemax.
And on Skinamax. That documentary took a weird turn. They were like, I'm going to bet all my money on fucking these stocks, and then I'm going to put my cock in your mouth. I was like, what the fuck happened here? It took a turn. The documentary was like very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And then I watched the biopic, essentially the dramatization movie of it, like with Paul Dano, Seth Rogen, America Ferrera, like tons of people in it. And I'm sitting there thinking, we don't have to have this. Like, every story that happens in real life, they have to make some movie or series based off of it. This, like, some drama series. And I'm like, if the story itself is riveting enough, it's captivating enough, and it's interesting enough.
We don't need, and that was my thing too. Like, was I judging it based on the documentary? And I think I might have been.
I mean, heck, pretty soon we'll have a documentary or a movie based on Johnny Depp and Amanda Heard's freaking court case.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
just give it a little time.
The Staircase. The guy, I forget his name, was Michael Peterson. Is that?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Very very good docuseries.
Very good
and very interesting, and a lot of like, okay, you're like,
speaking of, do you think he did it?
Dude, I don't know. You
Man,
know what?
I know, right? It's so...
There's a joke in How I Met Your Mother where Ted's like, it's like that guy who kept having women end up at the bottom of his staircase. Like, okay, maybe he didn't do it, but do you really want to hang out with that dude? Like,
yeah.
It's like, even if he didn't, it's like, all right, well, I don't know. That one was, I don't think so cut and dry. But then again, they make those series out to be that way.
Right.
You know, I mean, look at Making a Murderer.
Maybe they watched Kids Under the Stairs and like, hey, that's a great movie.
I mean, my whole thing with it is like I watched that docuseries about that, and it was so interesting. And the story itself is interesting enough. We don't have to have, because then HBO or Max or whichever it was at the time made a dramatization series with Colin Firth and Toni Collette. And I'm like, I started watching it, and I'm like, why am I watching this? It's all the same shit that I watched. I don't need it. We don't need it. Like, I've gotten to a point where I tend to think that the documentaries are better, because when you have an inherently compelling story that really happened, you don't have to have the dramatization of it. It's already a compelling story. You're already going to watch it.
A doc within a doc.
A doc within a doc. You know, so
I'm gonna bring. Moving on, we were talking about like what we've watched lately.
Yeah,
I watched Marked for Death the other day. It's Steven Seagal.
Seagal.
You remember? Yeah, I know. You remember the part? It got me thinking. I don't know why, but they're like trying to get information from a guy, and he tells like the one dude like, give him the proper drop, y'all. And he puts like sulfuric acid on the dude's head. Do you remember that scene?
No, I never watched it. I'm gonna be honest. I've never been a Steven Seagal.
I'm not a huge Steven Seagal fan, but like, you know, that was what was on in the 80s and 90s.
My dad never liked him.
I never.
So I think that was all that stuff I grew up watching with my dad.
Yeah,
I've seen clips of his movies, but I've never had a care because every little clip I see is so cheesy.
It's so bad.
I do like when Will Sasso would do the Steven Seagal bits on Mad TV.
Yeah.
Those were fucking hilarious.
But anyway, once you know like the end to Marked for Death, when you go back and rewatch it, it's like it's even dumber.
Yeah. I mean, you could spoil it. I'm not going to watch it.
So Screwface is the main villain. Okay.
This is a great name.
Yeah. Okay. And Okay. So
like a 60s
he plays
Bond villain.
Seagal plays like a DEA agent, and like this like Jamaican gang, and they're like Jamaican, like straight up Jamaican. They've got all the accents and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like targets him and no, I think this was before that. So they target his family because he like roughed up one of their drug dealers or whatever. Okay. So he ends up in Jamaica, and Screwface is known to have four eyes and two heads. Right?
Okay.
It's my poor Jamaican.
So is it two
accent.
people?
So yeah.
Yeah, at the end
twin?
it's revealed that they're twins.
Of course, dude. Know? Like that's my
and
first
like,
thought.
And then you go back and like watch like years later, and I was like, dude, this is one of the dumbest movies ever. Not to mention that it's got Seagal in it. You know.
Anyway. I think I told you that I know you've seen The Menu.
Yeah.
Because we talked about it. Have you ever seen The Menu?
No.
With Ralph Fiennes and Nicholas Hoult and a bunch of other people. Well, why can't I think of his name? John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
He based his character in that off of Steven Seagal.
Yeah. And who John Leguizamo fucking despises.
Yeah. He worked with them on some movie.
Yeah.
And he said the way he portrayed that character in The Menu, which you got to watch The Menu, by the way.
It's a must watch.
But like being that washed up actor who like, you know, thinks he's badass and like, you know, everybody like he thinks he's so cool and famous and all that shit. He's like, that is exactly who Steven Seagal
well, like,
is.
John Leguizamo like called him out, like he was like beating people up. on that set. Like he wasn't like pulling back, he wasn't pulling punches or
Isn't
anything. Like
there
he
a
was like
story?
literally beating up the actors.
Yeah.
Isn't there a story of like him and Chuck Norris getting into a fight and Chuck Norris just fucking demolishing him?
Is that the story where he shit himself? Because Steven Seagal probably got choked. I heard a story where he got choked out
Chuck.
and shit himself.
That's just the thing is Chuck Norris is like
he's a trained martial artist.
The dude literally like has his own form in karate.
Yeah.
And like
he did some of the old Bruce Lee movies we talked about on Play for Blood.
Yeah.
And that was another thing is like Bruce Lee and him liked each other so much because they had their own styles. They had and they basically mastered, certain martial arts in general. And then you got Seagal, who literally just goes and does a couple classes. I'm a master at it. Yeah, I could take you down.
Yeah. Fuck. Anyway, spring.
So what does spring mean to you, Matt?
Traditionally, I feel like spring is supposed to be this like cleansing, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Of like we're coming out of
spring
winter.
cleaning.
That's why traditionally it's people do spring cleaning, and there's like the snow's melting away. Here comes the sun. Doo-doo-doo-doo. All that. For me, it means allergies.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up.
If I can breathe through the whole season, that's successful.
Yeah.
You got them too? You got them pretty bad?
I get, every morning it's like right when I get out of bed, I sneeze like 20 times.
Yeah, I do too.
But I just never take allergy medicine.
Oh, well, that's your fault.
But that's just it. Is like I just sneeze a bunch, like right when I get up, and then I'm good for the day.
No, dude, I keep allergy meds at home, in my car, and at my desk at work.
Wow. What about you, Casey? What does spring mean to you?
What does spring mean to me? Cutting grass.
Okay, that was going to be on my list too.
Holidays, getting ready for holidays,
Easter,
being able to do activities outside again. Because the weather's warmer.
And that's what I'm saying. It's getting warmer. It's like, we can do things again.
Preventing the wife from going to any flower store. Yeah. Realistically, it's trying to save some money on flowers that will be dead in a couple of weeks.
Get fake ones, man. They look.
My thing is now is like me. I'm just like, okay, stop spending $10, $15 on these things that are gonna die. Just spend the $30 for perennials that just you plant them, they come back next year. And that's my favorite thing is because like in front of our house we have like this garden bed with our light post, and everything that she's put in there has died except for the things that I planted, which are perennial lilies. And literally today we went on a walk. I was like, oh look, the lilies are coming back. They're already budded and everything. Now you got to fill this section again with flowers that are just gonna die.
It's pretty gay.
Pretty gay.
What about you, Robert?
Spring. I mean, you kind of hit the two things. Big things for me is allergies, cutting grass, barbecuing. You could barbecue a little bit more.
Yeah.
I really don't like spring. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's probably my least favorite season.
Probably.
Really?
Yeah, because I like fall. Winter's another favorite of mine. It's a very close second.
A lot of people don't like winter. But
I was born in the winter. I love it too.
I hate winter.
Winter sports.
Hockey,
Oh,
basketball.
well, the sports, yes.
Football.
I do like the sports.
Sled riding when I was a kid, and then the holidays, and I absolutely love winter. The cold doesn't bother me as much as
Elsa.
Yeah.
Cold doesn't bother me.
Cold never.
I think I come by the
have you ever
insulation
seen,
naturally. So,
have you? I do too. We do have that over Casey.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Have you ever seen Frozen?
Oh, I've seen 1 and 2. Yeah.
You have?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know.
They're good movies, man.
I didn't know. We have for sure because we have daughters.
Tori and I stay up to date on all the
Aiden
important
is obsessed
Disney
with
movies. Yeah, it's
insane.
Boys can like it too.
Yeah, sure. I mean it's like the next generation's Little Mermaid when we were growing up.
True that.
Sure. I'll give you that.
It's the same.
Or Aladdin.
What was your favorite Disney movie growing up? No, we're gonna do.
Oh what? yeah. Okay, we're just gonna go down this rabbit hole.
I mean, why? Rabbit hole.
Okay.
Spring.
Well, spring.
Yeah.
Okay. When I think of spring, okay.
You think of rabbit holes?
I think of Easter.
Easter
bunny.
Yeah.
Okay. And a tradition has always been in our family is we get
Deviled eggs.
My grandma Verna, before she passed, she
R.I.P.
handcrafted like bunnies, like wood bunnies with stakes on the back, and they looked like the bunnies looked like you,
like porterhouse,
like wood.
So she painted it.
So she painted them, and she made them to look like you. So like I have one, Jess has one, Ava has one, and Ada now has one because my aunt took it over. My aunt Kim took it over, and she's making them for the grandkids and stuff like that. Yeah, she's doing it now. And now it's like once it's spring, put those in the yard.
That brings up a really good point. I don't know how interesting this is going to be to anybody. Have we ever told you about our connection through his grandma?
Oh yeah.
No. To anybody who cares, people might skip past this part.
Yeah.
We met up. It's kind of
really crazy.
I'm going to try to not make it a long-winded story, but I was working with a mutual friend of ours, and through him,
Cody.
Yeah, Cody. Why not use a name?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. We're not protecting anybody's identity. Cody'd be a good one to have on the show.
Cody Gamble, social security number.
So I was working with Cody. Through Cody, I met Joe, and you know Joe.
Yeah,
everybody knows
Joe. Through Joe, I met Casey, and we all just kind of started hanging out and partying together. And then one day, my mom was like you guys came over for like one of the Halloween parties, I think.
Yeah, one of the Halloween parties.
And then the next day, my mom goes, "Hey, do you know Brittany?" And I go, "No." And she's like, "Well, I saw a picture. Looked like you were in it." Well, what happened was it was a post that Casey had been tagged in from over the weekend. And like one of the pictures was of them at our Halloween party. Yeah. Come to find out, my mom and aunt had been really good friends with his grandma.
Grew up together.
For
no kidding.
Grew up together
for years.
Yeah.
And
middle school, high school, all the words.
Like I looked at my mom was like, "Here," and I go, "Oh, no, I know Brittany's brother, Casey." And she was like, "Oh, well, that's Verna's grandson." And I was like, "No fucking shit." She was like, "Yeah, I know him." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, nothing like coming home from high school and his mom and aunt are getting drunk in my grandma's living room. And his freaking aunt's just, if I was 20 years younger, I'm like, man, I am underage. I am 16 years old. This is creepy.
So you asked me what my favorite Disney movie was, and we never got around to answering that. So I'm going to try and, because I don't think that's something we can just not address here.
Yeah, we're going to do a Disney episode. Yeah. I kind of want the full crew here for that, which I don't know if anybody's noticed, Greg's not here today.
Yeah.
So
R.I.P. Greg.
I'd have to say
I heard he quit smoking.
This is going to sound kind of lame, but
he was going to say gay.
He was going to say
I
gay.
saw it. I saw it.
He was rolling the G.
Yeah, it was in the back of his throat. I saw it.
I have two, but they're both like equally, so it's like hard to say one over the other.
Okay.
And it's Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid. And I think the reason why is because those were the movies that came out when I was a kid.
Oh.
No. Like a young kid, right? Because for a while in the 80s, there weren't a whole lot of good, like, animated
don't
Disney,
do that.
So animated Disney movies?
Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
Give me one.
First, Oliver and Company.
Yeah.
No.
That's
not animated. Oh, it is animated.
It is animated.
I'm thinking about Otis, Milo and Otis.
Brave Little Toaster.
Oh,
that's past my time. We're talking.
But listen, people do this all the time.
Well, wait a minute.
No. I feel
what
strongly
year did
about
The
this.
Mermaid come out?
Was it 89?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
People do this all the time.
I was 7 years old.
They gloss over the Don Bluth era.
Okay.
Because that's the guy who went on to do a lot of like An American Tail.
Okay, so is that a Disney movie?
No.
Okay.
No. So he left Disney and then went on to do his own thing with like MGM.
Give me one animated Disney movie from 1980 to 1989 that isn't like Little Mermaid.
I already said Oliver and Company. That's one of my favorites.
That is a great
That's
one.
a Disney movie.
Well,
when Don Bluth, he worked for Disney.
We're in two different generations, though.
He worked for Disney.
Yeah, that was. I've never seen that movie.
Oh, you were born what year?
82.
90.
91.
Yeah.
So we're in two different. By the time we started watching movies, we're mid 90s.
Yeah.
So 80s movies are kind of late 80s movies. We didn't really catch up to.
But I agree with Beauty and the Beast. That's my favorite.
That like I said, that came out in like 90, 92, somewhere in there, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So and that's why, and it was like the first one. Like you can see it now. It's the first one that used computer generated graphics in part of it, like the scene where they're like dancing and it comes down.
And the ballroom.
Yeah, the ballroom.
that was
like one of the first scenes.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact.
So what about you?
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. Okay,
That's my number one.
Okay,
hands down.
Aladdin.
Belle.
Okay, Aladdin. Okay, see there again. That came out in like 91, 90,
If Belle was real.
Yeah, for real, dude.
If Jasmine was real.
Yeah, but see,
maybe the tiger. I don't know.
Why did you?
Jasmine would be high maintenance, dude.
I don't. You think so?
Really?
She's a fucking princess, dude. Yeah,
but
she's
she
like,
doesn't.
She is a fucking princess.
dude. Well, yeah, I think she'd be high maintenance. Jasmine's high maintenance.
Okay,
All of them are considered high maintenance in the beginning.
Belle's not
No,
high
we're
maintenance.
gonna get.
Shit, she
no,
isn't.
she's not. She just wants to.
She just wants to read. She just
wants
wants
to be
fucking
left the fuck
library.
alone. And get
Exactly.
away from me. Like
Exactly.
that's high maintenance.
Yes. No, it's
trying
not.
to,
High maintenance?
just trying to talk to her is just
When a woman
freaking
says,
nightmare.
"Leave me alone, get away from me," I'm like, "Okay, I'll be over here. Let me know when I need to cook you something or make you laugh."
You'll learn that when you're older.
Okay,
So Spring.
what was yours?
He said
Aladdin.
Aladdin. That's right.
Aladdin.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because Genie. Come on now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
You mentioned Easter. Do you guys do a big Easter thing?
We used to. We
We did too.
We used to get all the
get some
cousins and aunts and uncles together and do an Easter egg hunt, which always ended in an Easter egg fight. So everybody would literally take everything out of the Easter eggs, put them back together, and then we'd all go out in the backyard and just chuck them at each other. And we've had a couple years where, because people don't realize we're going to do this, and they would still like put out the real colored Easter eggs.
I was gonna say, were they
and
actual,
you get
like,
chucked right in the face with the real freaking
So these
Easter
weren't
egg.
these weren't plastic.
No, no, we had the plastic
them
ones,
were.
but my grandma Verna would always put real ones.
Real
we
eggs
would,
out.
so we would, before the Easter egg, we would paint Easter eggs too.
Okay.
But she would always end up putting those out there as well, and then they get mixed in with the Easter eggs.
And you get
and
hit
then
with one of
and then
those.
someone would get chucked by a real damn egg.
And you know it without looking at it. You could feel it. You're
Oh
like,
yeah, like you know for a fact that my Uncle Jamie just grabbed one of these, like, the hell with it. A bruise is a bruise.
So we don't really have any more traditions. I mean, when growing up, we had the Easter egg hunts. My family would get together for the barbecues, and that's when we got our spring clothes for pictures and all this. You know, but that's usually what we got, right? We got an Easter egg basket full of candy, and then clothes.
Yeah.
Always dressed up for pictures on Easter.
But I will say that Tori has been really good. She has made sure that she's gotten me an Easter basket every year for Easter.
now that's gay.
Well, that's gay.
And here, like the last 4 or 5 years, I haven't gotten her an Easter egg basket, which makes it even lamer.
Whoa.
That is
But what I did last year was I got her
some chocolate love.
a Halloween basket.
Oh, I'd prefer that.
Yeah, so she gets a Halloween basket, and I get
That's a great idea.
yeah.
You know, we've talked about favorite candies and things like that. And one thing about Easter for me, I'm not a big chocolate. I don't like chocolate that much, but
I like milk chocolate.
those Cadbury cream eggs.
You're gonna say something about the crab. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? You mentioned Halloween. Is that a few years back they started releasing those around Halloween too. They have like a Halloween version where it's like green ooze inside, but it tastes the same.
What was the candy that it was
Wonder
a
Ball.
chocolate?
Wonder Ball.
Was it a Wonder Ball chocolate that had the toys and stuff inside of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that was my shit.
I knew before you even said it. It was a ball of chocolate.
And it had toys.
And it had little candies and then usually
Yeah.
some kind of like small toy or sticker or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, which was really weird. You get a chocolate ball, and then inside of it you had like a sour or
Yeah.
tart candy with the toy.
Hey, don't knock it. Have you ever
No,
had,
they were great.
Have you ever had chocolate covered gummy bears?
I have.
Not
I think
yet.
I
you
gave
brought
them to-
you may have brought those over.
I think I brought them to work one day when we worked together.
Chocolate covered.
And I was
gummy
like,
bears.
hey, you ever had a chocolate covered gummy bear? And you're like, I don't know about that. And I'm like, Wait till you try it.
They're different. It's good.
It's
Jessica's
okay.
Yeah, Jessica's
I ate the
obsessed
bag.
with that.
You gave me the rest of it in the bag, and I ate the entire bag.
Well, okay, it's you got to think about the flavors they put in there. They don't just put all the flavors in there. It's like they choose specific flavors. It's like pineapple, strawberry,
cherry. Yeah.
It's things that you already had chocolate. Like think about an edible arrangement. You've had pineapple with chocolate.
Oh yeah.
You've had chocolate covered cherries, chocolate covered strawberries. So they pick those flavors and they put them in here and they cover them with chocolate. And it's like, dude, that's what you're eating, but it's a cheap candy. So
yeah. I would definitely try it.
We don't do a big Easter thing anymore either. When I was a kid, man, we did a big thing. It was like one of my mom's like big holidays.
So what do you do now,
dude?
As of last year, what did you guys do?
I mean, you've got 2 young kids.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember.
We had an Easter egg hunt in the backyard, and then we grilled.
We do.
And then my mom and
we do the eggs
stepdad came over
for the girls.
Yeah.
They get their baskets. They find the eggs. I steal half their candy.
True.
I mean, you're not a parent if you're not taking some of your kids' fucking candy.
I'll be really honest with you. If it wasn't for like,
be honest with us.
Dad taxes.
If it's not for like distant family, like people like aunts and uncles, or even Tori's mom and our aunt and grandma and all that, I wouldn't do shit on Easter. It's just another day to me.
My extended family, we don't do anything anymore.
You know, it really is. But like, I use that day as a way of like meeting up with family and barbecuing. Just
we will go out to eat with Amy's mom.
Yeah,
because she doesn't really have like her family. It's really just her now.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll like go to like some place for breakfast or whatever.
But like on the scale of like based on religious beliefs, isn't Easter more important than Christmas?
I guess so. It's also kind of like
one's a birth and one's a rebirth.
If you get,
you know what I mean?
If you're into all that, which I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not.
But if you're into that,
for a guy who went to Catholic school, it confused the hell out of me growing up.
I went to Catholic school too.
It just confused the shit out of me.
It's very confusing.
Did it get touched out of you?
Maybe. I did have one sketchy time with a nun, but besides
hold on. That's fucked up, me making a joke about it, but the fact that they've done it for thousands of years, like, hold on.
Hey,
who's the bad guy here?
You know, there is, if we're talking about history when it comes to fondling, there is a certain guy with a single stash who was saved by a priest.
That's true.
Because the priest wanted to do some diddling. And
I don't know if that
we would have
true.
a lot more. We would have a lot more Jewish people in this world.
Hitler, he was saved. He was going to drown.
He was drowning.
and
he was saved by a priest.
A priest was like, "Come here, kid, don't drown," and then
pulled him out by his dick.
I mean,
okay. Not that this is like Uncle Matt's fucking joke corner or something stupid, but that reminds me. You guys want to hear a joke I just heard like yesterday?
Absolutely.
Sure.
I mean, we can do it, right?
Yeah, we can do it, right? Hey, we're throwing off. We're just going around circles.
It's our show. We can do whatever the fuck we want. There's no set format. So this deaf couple gets married, and then they realize, like, pretty quickly that they're having a hard time, communicating in the bedroom with the lights off, right? Because they can't see each other's sign.
Yeah.
So, they're like, it's kind of like, we got to figure this out. So the wife signs to the husband. She's like, hey, I have an idea. How about if you want to have sex with me, you grab my left breast and give it a squeeze. And she's like, if you don't want to have sex with me, reach over and grab my right breast and give that a squeeze. And the husband's like, okay. He's like, I like having some kind of signal like that, so he's signing to her, and he's like, it's a good idea. He's like, if you want to have sex with me, reach over and grab my dick and pull it once. And if you don't want to have sex with me, reach over and grab my dick 50 times.
Where'd you hear Because I heard that. Did you tell me that joke the other day? Or because that sounds very familiar.
I who knows? I get some whiskeys in me, and then I doom scroll, and I don't remember where I heard it, but anyway. So we've run the gambit so far, and we're not even halfway through.
Yeah, we went from Disney to Sprung to Hitler to.
Easter's not really a big thing. You mentioned St. Patty's. Which
St. Patrick's Day
would put in the spring category.
I mean, it does happen like just before.
I don't consider it a winter holiday.
Well, then what about Mardi Gras then?
Mardi Gras is winter.
Mardi Gras is winter.
Trust me,
it's just 2 weeks away from St. Patrick's Day.
Not always.
Not always.
Okay, good point.
Yeah, sometimes, dude.
I mean, there was one time St. Patrick's Day was the day after my birthday, February 2nd. So.
You mean Mardi Gras?
Yeah, Mardi Gras. What did I say? St. Patty's Day? Sorry.
St. Patty's is always March 17th, but Mardi Gras changes, which is another thing. Like, that's the whole religion thing. How does it change every fucking year?
True that.
Just pick a day.
It's based on Christianity and religious.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like that's the weirdest thing.
It's so I don't.
It's based on the moon.
Mardi Gras and Easter, they're tied together. Mardi Gras marks the beginning of Lent.
Oh, okay.
That goes all the way through to Easter, so it's like 40 days. So Mardi Gras is always 40 days, or whatever.
Is that the time that Jesus? Is that the time from Mardi Gras to Easter? Is that the time that he was like in the cave?
No, because that was only 3 days.
Was it only 3 days?
No, it was only 3 days.
So I don't know what that.
Is that how long he suffered on the cross?
40 Oh, maybe.
40
days?
Dude, it's been so long since I was in Sunday school.
40 days and 40 nights? It's got something to do with something.
Yeah.
I know that much.
It's a great question.
For us, it's beads and tits and
inappropriate shit.
Beads and tits and inappropriate shit.
And debauchery.
And to watch a friend possibly die getting high.
By the way, Matt, where have you been lately? Because you look like you got a early start on a tan.
I don't tan. It's red and then it goes back to white. But like I said, been spending time with the girls. They've been on spring break. We went to the zoo. We went to some parks. We went to Susan Park. You and I talked about Susan Park.
Susan, love it.
I don't give a shit.
They got a new baby cow out there.
Sure. There were a couple.
They put fish in there every Tuesday.
Do they?
No.
I don't know. You guys both know how I feel about hoofed animals. We went over to the goats and their eyes looked at me and I was like,
nah, bro.
I'll fucking kick you right in the face if you look at me with your fucking eyes.
Don't look at me sideways.
The horses and the cows and the whatever else is in there. It's like, okay, yeah, the pigs. Pigs are just disgusting, dude. Honestly.
I don't know. I mean, yes, that's just the way they are, but you know what?
It's not about the rolling.
I just want to be as lazy as a pig.
It's just looking at, they're so big and like their like forehead hangs over their eyes. They look like the 1,000-pound sisters. And
Tori and I were talking about that like the other day.
Most pigs don't last that long.
I had shrimp, and I was like, I wonder who was the first motherfucker to look at a sea cockroach and be like,
"Oh, dude, I'm
gonna eat that." I do too.
Shrimp.
I do too.
Are they really considered though?
I don't know. I mean, they're bottom feeders. Like they're the bugs of the ocean, like that, and crabs, and
because crabs are the same.
So
thing.
it makes you wonder, like, who was the first person?
Yeah, but who was looking up at the sky going, I'm going to eat that fucking thing, like seeing a duck or something fly by?
Well, I'm talking about pig. We got on topic of pigs being disgusting.
Any animal.
Well, I'll give you that. But, I mean, I'm glad that they did.
I don't fuck with the chickens.
You said pigs are disgusting. I totally agree with you, man. They're disgustingly delicious.
I just don't like – oh, no, I love – but I just don't like to look at them.
Birds are my enemy.
Are you afraid of birds?
Oh, dude. My aunt in Texas – had an emu farm. My aunt and uncle had a fucking emu farm.
I heard those things are fucking mean.
And they're huge.
Yeah.
They are 6 foot, a little over 6 foot tall, and they have fucking talons. They don't have like what ostriches have, like a flat foot. These fuckers have talons.
Have large talons.
They don't really have wings. They're just ugly as shit, but they have really sharp fucking beaks, and they are very attracted to shiny things. And like my aunt would always tell my mom and them, hey, if you're gonna go in with the emus, make sure you take your jewelry out because my mom forgot. Took her fucking earring right out of her fucking ear. Wow. My mom tortured me by putting me in a fucking cage of these fuckers, shut the gate, and they came running to me. And I mean, I am screaming, crying, running, wanting to get out. And my grandma was like, let him out of there. And they'll just fucking plow you to the ground. Yeah. And then they think it's a game. And they just run around just like nudging into you. But me as a 5-year-old kid, that was fucking terrifying because this thing is fucking huge to me. Yeah.
Like a dinosaur. It's
like a raptor. So now when I see a freaking turkey or a chicken, I'm like, I'll fucking step on you.
That's how I feel about goats. I didn't have a traumatic experience. I just don't like them.
Yeah, they're kind of weird.
They make weird noises.
And then like their eyes are creepy, and then they just do shit. You know what I don't like about?
They just shit too.
You know what I don't like about most like hoofed animals is like they're so unpredictable and they make these like sporadic movements. Like I fucking hate like seeing a deer in the road. Yeah. Because it's like you could slow down, you could do whatever. Like you could come to I've come to a complete stop. Because there's deer in the road, and then they still fucking will like hit your car. Like, I'm not even moving, bro. Like you gotta quit. They're like crackheads. Like when you see crackheads out at 7-Eleven and shit, they'll just be there and then go. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you just bob and weave on my fucking front fender? Like, get out of here. So, they suck. But yeah, I've been out to the parks and the zoo and things like that. Plus, I typically have red skin. I have very fair skin, and I get warm.
So, with spring comes the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
Sucks.
So... Is it just me? Because like I've been in rare form the last couple of weeks, more so than. What about you guys? Is that how?
As a guy?
Yeah. Like,
what do you mean? Like you're saying
as
like
a girl.
You're performing better?
No. Well, no.
Lasting longer?
No. Like
that would
more.
The urge is happening a lot
just
more.
Just wanting it more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty maxed out on my potential for that capacity.
Year round, it's every day.
So,
I mean, I've already told the wife if we could do it every single day, I'd do it every single day.
I clinically have high testosterone levels, though.
Okay.
I was told that by a doctor, so like I kind of, which is also probably why I don't have hair and like.
The reason why I was asking is like, with spring comes like romantic comedies and stuff like that.
Oh, of course.
So favorite one. What's your
favorite rom-com?
Yeah. What's your?
What?
Romance movies?
When Harry Met Sally.
Notebook.
The
Notebook. I do watch that.
Is that a
that's
comedy?
A romance, right? Oh, a comedy.
Romance. It's a romance.
I thought we were talking romance movies.
We're talking rom-coms.
Rom-coms.
Ooh.
Mine is There's Something About Mary.
He's talking about romance and shit.
Yeah.
Rom-coms.
He said There's Something About Mary.
Something About Mary. Oh, well then Zach and Mary make a porno.
Zach.
Sure. Yeah, that could be one.
Sure. I mean, it really is. It's a comedy, and they end up falling in love in the end.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of good ones. 500 Days of Summer is really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of a quirky, like sort of like hipster indie movie, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
51st Dates I liked.
You know what?
I thought that was pretty cute.
That is a good one.
You're onto something. It's probably an Adam Sandler movie. My favorite rom-com would have to be maybe either that or like The Wedding Singer.
Okay, that's
I do love The Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
Just Go With It with him and Jennifer Aniston. Yeah. You got it.
Anything with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore is basically.
Well, 51st Dates was cute, but you also had the guy. You could take. That's the kind of movie like you could take your, like being a teenager. Take your girlfriend too,
Oh yeah, for sure.
What was the one with him and Jennifer Aniston?
I just said it. Just Go With It.
Oh, Just Go With It. I thought you were talking about the mood.
And Murder Mystery.
Oh, and Murder Mystery. Yeah. But was that a rom-com?
No, but you said him and Jennifer Aniston.
just that one movie.
Okay, just go with it.
Just go with
just
it.
go with it.
Which one?
Let's just go with it.
Is that the one with Jack Nicholson? Is Jack Nicholson in that one?
No, that's Anger Management.
That's Anger Management, and that is not
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Is that not a rom-com?
It kind of is. I
Sure.
mean, they're already dating.
Well,
but
the whole point, to
really
right.
to get him out of his shell.
But
to
the whole
be
point
more
of-
romantic.
Yeah, with her.
With
so
her,
yeah,
yeah.
I would say yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But that's not one of his best.
No, it's not one of his best.
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to have a really good, funny movie with Jack Nicholson.
you think so? I think he's a good comedic actor.
I don't know, man. When he's like
His
in that
serious
movie when
roles
he's
are
like
great.
combing his hair with the fucking
Yeah,
like
but-
electric comb, I thought that was pretty. At the time, I thought it was pretty
Yeah,
hilarious.
I mean, yeah.
but you put
I can't think of how. I mean, how many comedic movies is he in?
Okay, I got one for you.
as good as it gets.
Bucket List.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
But is that really a comedy? Well, he's funny.
it's comedy.
Yeah, it's
There's
a comedy.
some comedy parts.
That's a fucking heartfelt.
What's the one where he's
That's
dating the girl's daughter or the lady's daughter?
Isn't that as good as it gets? With him and Amanda Peet and Keanu Reeves. And
Yeah. Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah.
It's-
Is that what it's called?
He was in a couple of those.
And then
types
yeah,
of
because
movies.
he sees the mom naked. And he's like, oh shit! I've never seen a woman
That age.
Yeah, that age naked. And Keanu Reeves is like, really? You serious?
In Bucket List, I think one of the most funniest moments is when they're like looking like he's laying on the bed and he's got those glasses on.
Oh yeah, where he can
See
see.
the teeth.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even saying anything.
The coffee shit was funny too.
I've
that
actually
was
never
fucking
seen that
hilarious.
movie.
You never seen Bucket
Oh,
List?
man.
No.
Oh, dude, you want to cry?
I love to cry.
Do you want to like cry from laughing?
Dude, I
and then,
watched The
like,
Notebook. Of course, I fucking cried.
cry from laughing and then cry from like emotional distress.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. We've made some like jokes like this is such a gay episode.
Oh, I did watch something new recently.
But one of the greatest love stories is Brokeback Mountain.
I've never seen it.
Dude,
it's actually a good movie.
That is a heartfelt
I've never seen
fucking
it.
movie.
I guess I can tell everybody viewing that is a good movie, and I would watch it again.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with saying a movie like that is good and like.
Oh, dude,
and
it's got so many good.
I wish more
turns
men
and
would do
stuff.
that. Like, just they can admit
it's an
by admitting
amazing
that
movie.
it's not a reflection of your
Fuck no.
masculinity.
Fuck
or
no.
anything, you
And
know,
if we're
like,
if we're
yeah.
talking about romance and love stories, I'm a big musical person. Phantom of the Opera.
never seen it.
Phantom of the Opera is another one that just
I saw
gets
the
me,
old
like,
one.
Oh, dude. Oh yeah. No, the musical. You saw something new recently? What'd you
Yes, I watched Bert Kreischer's new stand-up.
watch? I did too,
Lucky.
actually.
And it made
It was
Joe.
okay.
It made Joe very upset, but in the beginning of it was good. The end was garbage.
Yeah, that was just okay.
But that's just the thing is, it's like he puts you on a roller coaster of emotion. Like, I want to watch a comedy to laugh. I don't want to cry when I'm watching
Yeah.
a stand-up comedy.
Not stand-up comedy, yeah.
And he makes you basically want to cry at the end, and I'm like, this is awful. I watch comedy to laugh so I can laugh off my emotions, not cry because I want to cry.
I think I'm like emotionally stunted in that area because you guys were talking about it and I was like, I gotta watch this now, and then I watched it and I was like, I don't feel sad. I don't like.
But it was
just like-
it was awkward,
just like,
and then it's like I
so-
felt sad, but at the same time I was like, I don't want to feel sad. I want to be laughing right
I
now.
did not. I didn't feel sad. I was just kind of like, all right, this is a story.
Because he starts to like choke up on stage. I'm just like, dude, this is
All
getting
right.
bad.
Talking about watching something sad recently.
Mm-hmm.
There is a documentary on the Lockerbie bombing.
Okay.
It's pretty sad. It's good. It's done by like CNN, I think, but it was on HBO, I think it was, and it's like 6-7 part series.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really well done, and it's really interesting. I don't know. Are you guys familiar with that story at all?
Nope.
Back in '88,
Yeah.
a plane
Way
from-
before my time.
a Pan Am flight coming from London to the United States was blown up over Lockerbie, Scotland.
God damn.
Yeah. And it took like the government a while to like figure it out, and come to find out it was from Libya. And that's why Libya was like a big enemy of the United States in like the 90s, and yeah, and that why
Damn.
it's super interesting. And then I was watching and talk about sad shit.
And then we stole their gas.
Sort of, yeah. Well, I think he got pissed off because of the war of Tripoli or whatever. The United States had some involved. I don't know my history on that part really well. So he was pissed off because of Tripoli, the incident in Tripoli. Yeah. And that's why he targeted the West. But I also watched another documentary on the Thailand what's the word I'm looking for? Tsunami back in 2004.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember that.
Dude, that was really good because it went from each episode takes you further from the epicenter of the earthquake, right? So it starts out like in the immediate vicinity, and then each episode it expands.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's
and
really cool.
It was really interesting.
Scientifically, they're kind of breaking it down.
Yeah, and throughout the episode, they're talking to people who manage why it was so devastating. It killed over 160,000 people worldwide. Yeah, it was one of the biggest biggest
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was fucking nuts, dude. Yeah.
And why it killed so many people in different areas and didn't in others, and it was super interesting. If you guys get a chance, it's sad, but I will say that there is some really happy moments in it throughout it too. So it's it's sad, a lot of people die, but then there are other so
some stories of people maybe I thought this person was gone and then we reunited.
Correct.
Damn.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that was good.
You know what I think just kind of going back to the stand-up thing you're talking about, Bert Kreischer, I noticed this a lot lately, and the problem is these guys, they get so popular so quick, and then they do these deals with Netflix or whatever, and it's you gotta put out so many specials.
You gotta know, and not only that is material is hard because so many people have done so much, and you're kind of you're overriding basically other people's stuff unless you're basically just talking about the shit that's happened in your life now. Because that's what most of them are now. It's like Tom.
Yeah.
His last couple stand-ups, it's just been him talking about his kids.
Yeah, but even so, it's just they're not as good.
Well, you start to run out of material.
I think that's what it is because early on they've written that material all their entire life, right? So then they reach a point where they reach stardom, and then it's they do sign some of these deals.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. Now I really got to buckle down.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. And they got to pump these out
And sometimes it doesn't come out organically because you're under the pressure of creating something.
I look at people,
and not only that is now you got when you have Netflix, the deal that he had Netflix did with Adam Sandler. We're going to give you this massive deal. You got to pump out all these movies, yada yada. Now he's got to come up with these ideas.
Yep.
It's the same thing with stand-up comedies. They're hey, boom, we're going to give you this massive deal. You got to have materials for this many episodes. And they're just God damn.
Nate Bargatze's another one. That, his last special I thought was just okay, and it's because he got so famous so quickly that now they're you need another special. You need another special. You need another special. That's not how it works with these guys. You look at guys Me Too movement aside, Louis C.K. was a comedic genius, and he was putting out specials every 3 or 4 years.
Oh yeah,
because it takes that long to tour, to work on your material. Look at guys that do Dave Attell is still one of my favorites.
Mark Norman,
Dave Chappelle. How many years between specials these guys, they're working on the material, they're refining it, and they're it takes that time. You can't just be boom, another year, boom, another year, boom, another year. That's not how that works. I think the last comedian that we saw that was still doing that, where he was taking at least 3 years in between, was John Mulaney.
Yeah.
And he was in top form. And I think a lot of people didn't like his last special. I thought it was amazing. After he went to rehab and everything, you know what I mean? But it's, I think
he's got another one out right now, doesn't he? I think he does.
From a year or two ago. Now he's doing a.
I thought he just put one out.
He's doing he's doing a talk show now.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah. And I still think he's what he's doing. I think he's smart enough to know hey, and I think that's why he started doing stuff like that. The talk shows, and he did the thing with David Letterman where it's okay, if I'm going to do this Netflix
that's just
deal,
like Joe Rogan.
And and you're going to want material, you're going to want content, every year and a half, every whatever it is. I can't, it's not going to be stand up.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that can be written and refined in that short amount of time. It's going to be something like a talk show.
Yeah, because I mean, like you got Joe Rogan who will put one every so often.
Yeah,
and then but in between, like I'm guessing that's when he's writing materials. That he's doing his podcast.
See, it's all guys from that era.
Yeah,
Rogan, Stanhope, Patel, Chappelle.
He's got the newer people on there.
No, I know, but no, I'm saying the way he does, like how often.
Oh, yeah. He takes time.
Yeah, those guys from that era are the last ones that are still like, okay, we know how this works. We know how the writing has to go. We know the refining process. We know that it takes probably 2 years of touring.
Yeah.
To refine this and figure out what's funny enough to stay in a special. I mean, that's what they're doing. That's what comedians are doing when they're touring. I don't know if people realize that. It's like they come through here and they play at some small club, and then you watch their special a year and a half later, and you're like, oh, they told some of those jokes. And it's like, yeah, they were testing you. When you see a comedian touring, you're the test audience.
Yep.
They're testing their jokes.
And that's another thing that I can't stand is when you get a lot of these comedians, and there's a lot of people who like will video or tape like the beginnings of like a tour of material they're working on, and then whenever they're like midway through the tour, everybody's already seen it before he comes in because they've watched it.
You know what they're doing to cut down on that now? I took Amy to see John Mulaney before. Oh yeah,
you gotta put your phone in a bag.
Yeah, so when we saw Mulaney,
I'm talking about. Oh, okay. I know
what they do is they put your phone in this pouch, and they like lock it with this like electronic thing.
Yeah.
And you can get it unlocked if you go to a designated phone area outside of like it's like in like the stadium or wherever you're at. But other than that, like when you're in and like you're at your seats and stuff, your phone stays in there. So if your tickets are on your phone, what they did is they had people outside as you're waiting in line, and they're like, are your tickets on your phone? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, come over here. And they like pull them up. They give you a ticket stub, like a physical stub that matches that. And they're like, this is your ticket now. Don't fucking lose it. I'm locking your phone up. Yeah.
Well, guys, that's probably going to come to the conclusion of today's episode. Is there any final things you guys want to get in before we wrap it up?
Are you hungover?
I wish.
Are you hungover? What'd you end up doing last night?
Just drinking a lot. We were supposed to have a party at Casey's, and
I locked the door.
He locked the door.
All right. Well, on that note, if we want to move on from The Hangover,
hey, we could talk about that movie.
We could talk about The Hangover.
Yeah, I like those movies.
So when you first saw The Hangover, we just get into a whole nother hour-long discussion. Oh, no, man. I mean, spring is here.
Spring is here.
It's nice outside. It's going to rain today. So
that we know of.
We dodged a bullet on the weather today.
I heard it was supposed to get real bad, and then it's
not going.
And now it's
it was
not
supposed
going
to do it at 1.
Right.
Last night I checked, and it was supposed to start at 10. This is riveting, by the way. I love that we're
riveting talking about the weather.
And it's still. What time is it right now?
Spring. Speaking about spring,
a little after 2.
You know when you're old is when you go on a walk and you admire the people's yard lawns and shit.
And like envy them.
We were literally walking around the corner. I was like, God, look at how thick this guy's grass. I'm like, am I seriously talking about grass right now? How fucking old am I?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, spring to me, I don't like summer. I don't like how hot it is.
Oh,
so spring to me is opening up the garage door, cracking some beers, and like that's people's summer.
Yeah.
But to me, that's too hot. So right now, it's for me. Yeah. And I like watching the rain and stuff. So when it rains, I'll just open up the garage door.
No, I will give you that. I like having the windows open if possible during a rainstorm. So
my dad always did that. It would start storming. He'd go out to the garage and pop the doors open and stand out at the edge of the door, like smoking a cigarette and just watching the sky. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
All right, Thor.
All right. Well, guys, we'll see you next week for the next episode.
Fuck yeah.
Until then, live long and prosper.
Tupac lives.
Adrian.